So before you guys jump to conclusions and you think that, oh god, this is another rant video or something. No. Look at the title. Look at the title. This is about love. This is about love, peace, appreciation, and all that stuff. This is about peace. I do have a sign that says tranquility, but it's hanging downstairs in my living room right now. So, with that said, I'm just going to close the book on this whole thing. There might be another video after me, I don't know, but from my end, I'm going to close the book of it on it because it kind of went on a little bit too long, and I think everybody's kind of sick of it, including myself. The Truth, West Coast Chad, NHL in Seattle, Jason, and anybody else who is close to either one of them or to me. So I'm going to create this video for a couple of reasons. One is because I actually appreciate the fact that NHL in Seattle took down his vids earlier today, and he shot me a PM, which was actually pretty cool of him. And he apologized in it, and he said he didn't mean to call me some of the stuff, but he was sticking up for his buddy. So, first things first, I'm going to mention that I never, ever had anything against you, NHL in Seattle / Jason. I'm going to call you by your name. The Truth 17. West Coast Chad, since everybody thinks this was a fight between Truth 17 and AZ, it never really was. Honestly, it never, ever was. Let me break it down to you guys. When I started here in March or whatever it was, I mean, I joined YouTube a while ago, but I didn't start doing box breaks here until about like a couple of months ago. The Truth was actually one of like my first 5 subs. Chris was like my first, and then Truth was somewhere in that first 5, and yeah, I liked watching his stuff. He was cool, seemed like a real soft-spoken guy and whatnot, did a lot of group breaks and whatnot, and still to this day I watch a lot of his stuff. I've gone into his rooms, and I support what he does. With that being said, there was a lot of stuff being thrown around in the last 4 to 6 weeks on my end, from no particular people, but just a group of people. It was one particular person, and I'll just mention the name only for the sake of, completing the circle so everybody knows what's going on and whatnot. And it was Yusuf MacDaddy, who, is very well known for creating videos with, kind of jabbing fun and everybody and whatnot. And yeah, it's all cool, it's all fun, and we all joke around about stuff. And he created a vid on me, which was, I guess, kind of funny. Comparing me to terrorists and Arabs and, planes flying into the World Trade Center and stupid stuff like that. So, anyway, I never really paid attention to it. But as the weeks progressed, when I was in my blog TV rooms, my videos that I was posting, I noticed an increase in the frequency of the number of racial slurs that were being thrown my way, whether it be Habibi Stinky Curry, or this or that, or you stupid Pakistani terrorist, or go back to your country, or this or that. And, what's interesting was that a video went up about the Holocaust after my video went up, and, it threw a lot of arms up in the air, and, it's not really a nice thing to do, to make a video about Holocaust, but, unfortunately it was a double-edged sword. It was a little bit of a hypocrisy, in my opinion. That a lot of people found my video funny, comparing me to terrorists, yet the Holocaust was looked down upon. It got MacDaddy banned, I guess, off of his screen name from YouTube for a couple of weeks. But it kind of made me reflect. I said, it's not really cool that a video was made about me like that. First of all, I'm not Arab, I'm not from the Middle East, I'm Indian. Okay, so let's get geography straight a little bit. And secondly, racial slurs are that's a pretty low class thing to do. You really don't stoop down to that kind of level. Anyway, so this went on, and just to kind of go on with the story, and what ended up happening was these attacks became personal. Then I sat here and I explained to people, on my own volition. I didn't have to do it, and I mentioned about my engagement falling down, breaking up, etc., and people started using that against me. Yeah, I knew that would happen to a certain extent, but the attacks became pretty vicious, and a lot of this happened. And anybody who was in my blog TV rooms over the past few weeks knows about this. Really not cool, and an event occurred over the past week, I'm sure, which everybody knows about, and there was a miscommunication about it, and Chad and I were still cool about it, actually. But what ended up happening was that a lot of mediators started blowing everything up between us. So you had a whole bunch of people saying, one party did one particular thing and another party did another particular thing, and it wasn't true. And the reason I set this whole little thing up to begin with was for several reasons. Number one, like I said, it was never anything between the truth, West Coast Chad, and myself. At least not from my end, and hopefully, I believe not from his end either. If you guys have seen this video from early on, he made a pretty cool video about cleaning up the community and stuff like that, and I think him and I are on the same page. I've actually made some videos in the past, with a couple of blacklists, this and that. I don't have any animosity or anything towards anybody in this little clique that we have here on YouTube, unless they do something to me first. I don't say anything unless somebody provokes me first, and even then I usually bite my tongue for the most part. But I've been going through a lot of emotions as of late and whatnot, and when I get pushed, I will tend to react. That being said, a lot of things were exchanged back and forth, and it led to NHL in Seattle, Jason, putting up a couple of videos about me, and I actually never made a video response to it. And a lot of people, some people were saying I should, some people were saying I shouldn't. I had no intent to actually respond. And the reason why was because I knew he did it to stick up for his friend Chad, because he thought that I actually criticized something that the Truth has been doing here for a while and been doing it well since the end of last year. And that's actually not what I was doing. It was pretty interesting because the video actually had some evidence of what was typed and whatnot. Unfortunately, that evidence was an excerpt of a conversation that I had with this, again, one particular person, and I don't like to point people out, but the only reason I'm doing it right now is because like I said, I want to complete the circle and really let everybody know where all this came from. And, it was a little PM conversation I was having with Mac Daddy, and one thing led to another, and, they're all friends, and he sent it to him. And I kind of knew something like that was going to happen anyway, obviously, I'm aware enough to know that what I was going to say may get back to him, which is why I never made any comment. Even if I was going to make a comment, I wouldn't make it to him anyway. Not that I had a comment to make. But anyway, it was, the piece of evidence was very nicely snippeted, cut and pasted, or whatever you want to call it, because our conversation went on for an hour. It was probably like pages worth. But this was what was presented to Jason, and Jason took it as such and presented it. And that was fine. I respected that he stuck up for his buddy like that. And that's probably what I would have done. Maybe I wouldn't have created a rant video about it, but I would have stuck up. I would have done the same for anybody of mine. But as Jason knows, or hopefully knows by now, I did not actually mean that in that sense. It was taken out of context because there was no reference to the rest of that conversation that was shown on those videos.